And welcome back, everyone, for week 9 of the 2017 NFL season. I went 2-2 against the spread with my picks last week. We missed both of the games by a single point, but we did manage to get our big teaser play. So if you play the teaser pick, that's a pretty good score for you. So we're really knocking on the door of perfection. Here are the picks. The first game we're going to look at has the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to New Orleans, where the Saints are 6.5-point favorites at home. I wasn't going to take this game, but because the spread was -7 most of the week, but as I'm making this video, it's now -6.5, and I'm very comfortable with that number. Seems to be something wrong with quarterback Jameis Winston from Tampa Bay. His shoulder on his throwing arm isn't sufficiently healed. He has put up pretty good numbers, but he's not throwing the ball very deep, and that's been a big part of the problem with Tampa Bay, and their defense isn't very good against a very high-octane New Orleans defense. I think under a touchdown is very doable, so let's lay the points, and let's take the New Orleans Saints -6.5. The second game we're going to look at has the Cincinnati Bengals going to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are 5.5-point favorites at home. I like the Jaguars defense a lot. If you study the games that they've played since that Baltimore game, they've only let one legitimate drive of 8 plays or more for a touchdown. The rest of them have been really long runs or defensive touchdowns. I think against Pittsburgh, they didn't even allow a single touchdown. So had the Jaguars been less unlucky, they actually would have had a much better record. The Bengals, they stuck one out against Indianapolis last week, one of the lesser teams in the league. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are just too much, especially defensively. They're going to have Andy Dalton on the run, probably sack him at least 5 times, several interceptions for sure. So let's lay the points, and let's take the Jacksonville Jaguars -5.5. The third game we're going to look at has the Atlanta Falcons going to Carolina, where the Panthers are 1-point favorites at home. This will be back-to-back road games for Atlanta. They squeaked one out last week against the Jets. Maybe a better kicker for the Jets, and New York would have won that game. Carolina has actually traded one of their better players on offense. Wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin has been dealt away. Usually that means that's a sign that the team is happy with everything else that they have, and there's plenty of other weapons on the Carolina offense, and they have a very good defense too. I think the Panthers are a much better team. I can't believe how low this spread is. I think Vegas is giving us this one, but who knows? You know what? I'm going to take the bait. I hope you do too. So let's take Carolina -1. And the fourth game we're going to look at has the Kansas City Chiefs going to Dallas, where the Cowboys are 1-point dogs at home. Ezekiel Elliott finally looks like he's going to start serving that 6-game suspension, and that's a big loss for Dallas's offense. Yes, that offensive line is still very good, and you and I could probably run for at least 50 yards behind them, but Elliott is an elite running back, and the loss of him is going to be substantial against a Kansas City team that has, like Carolina, so many weapons on offense and a very good defense themselves. I like Kansas City to win by at least a touchdown here, and it's a small price to pay, so let's take the Kansas City Chiefs -1. I have one over-under play this week. The Indianapolis Colts are going to Houston, and that game, the number is 50.5. Both of these teams have terrible defenses. You know, Houston at least used to have a good defense once upon a time. I guess the loss of J.J. Watt has really dampened their ability to stop the other teams from scoring. The Colts are dead last in the league in points allowed. Houston, #1 in points scored. I think this game will easily sail over the number, so let's take over 50.5. Here's my Let's Take the Man's parlay play and my 6-point 6-game teaser play for this week. For our parlay play, we'll take the Carolina Panthers -1, the Jacksonville Jaguars -5.5, the New Orleans Saints -6.5, the Kansas City Chiefs -1. We'll take the over 50.5 in the Indianapolis Colts Houston Texans games, and because we're greedy, we'll take the Seattle Seahawks on the money line. A $25 bet will get us $821.67. And for our teaser play, we'll tease the Carolina Panthers to +5, the Jacksonville Jaguars to +0.5 point, the New Orleans Saints to -0.5 point, the Kansas City Chiefs to +5, the Seattle Seahawks down to -1, and we'll take over 44.5 in the Indianapolis Colts Houston Texans game. A $25 bet will get us $175. Let's make this 2 weeks in a row. And here are my straight up picks for this week. Okay, and those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. I hope you join us on our Facebook page. Last week, some of the guys were perfect with their picks. Gavin O'Connor and Pablo Juarez each went 13-0 straight up, and my good friend Chili Rooster scored a big parlay play against the spread. So make sure you join us on the Facebook page. If you make videos like this, feel free to post them there as well. Okay, for the Geo Knows YouTube channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.